If this message has found its way to you, let me state one thing with complete certainty. This is not a mistake in the algorithm, nor is it a random coincidence. It is the universe answering the quiet question your soul has been asking. In that hidden space within your heart, where doubt began to grow, there is something you were meant to hear today. At this exact moment, before hesitation turns into surrender, I know you have stayed quiet. I know you have continued forward as though everything had ended, convincing yourself that you had moved on. Yet deep inside, there remains a question that follows you, an uncertainty that disrupts your peace. And this question about where this connection is going can only be resolved through a divine plan. That answer is reaching you now with a clarity you can no longer dismiss. Release the belief that you are overreacting to what you feel. You are not imagining the strength of this emotion. Your love is not meaningless, and you are not loving alone. The connection that ties you to this person is genuine. It is a bond formed not by logic, but by the soul. Not a passing feeling, but something deeply significant. The core message you must hold onto is this: today, the universe confirms that you should not give up. You are standing at the threshold of a manifestation that has been in preparation for both of you. You cannot yet see how much energy is quietly working in your favor. That sense that change is near is not an illusion. The way this story continues to live within you, the fact that their name lingers in your mind and your heart keeps returning to them, is not a sign of weakness or fixation. It is a signal, a feeling that cannot be manufactured, but belongs to a purpose that distance, time, and silence cannot erase. Therefore, the first important step today is this: stop viewing distance as failure. In reality, physical separation is only a perception. The energetic bond between you is more alive than ever. Your soul remains in constant contact with theirs. You are linked by an unseen thread, and the emptiness you feel reflects the absence the other person experiences as well. That absence is a tool used by destiny. This person carries your presence deep within them. Even if they turn away or hide behind fear, the universe sees beyond what people attempt to conceal. So do not abandon what entered your life with such deep meaning. This love is not a passing desire. It comes from a far more spiritual and divine source. In the moments ahead, you will begin to notice the first clear outward sign that their soul is energetically reaching for you right now. But to recognize it, you must first understand what is unfolding on the invisible level. The key to this story moving forward does not rest in your external actions, but in the certainty you carry within. Remain steady, not because of restless expectation, but because of a deep trust that what is meant for you will not be lost. What destiny has joined cannot be undone. Trust your intuition. That inner sense telling you that love still exists is the only truth you need at this moment. Realize that there is someone who genuinely cares for you, someone who thinks about you far more often than they are willing to admit. And understand that this is just the beginning. If you are prepared to accept this awareness into your life, leave a heart in the comments. Now that you have acknowledged the sincerity of your intuition, it becomes important to move from doubt to clarity, and from clarity to an understanding of the unseen reality around you. Even in silence and distance, you are not alone. The intensity you experience is not an illusion, but a truth placed within you. If the universe has brought your paths together and planted a certainty in your heart that you cannot deny, it is because this purpose goes beyond ordinary logic. At times, you may feel that this connection requires more from you than it gives, or that you are holding on to something that seems to be fading. That perception is misleading. The truth is, you are being guided. The universe would not place a love of this depth in your heart without also providing direction. When your heart repeatedly returns to the same place, it is not because your mind is misleading you. It is because there is a bond rooted not in impulse, but in the soul. This feeling is genuine, and this purpose cannot be destroyed by silence or distance. The real question is why this story continues to live within you. Why does their name remain present? Why does this connection endure? The answer is simple: it is far more alive than you think. What belongs to you energetically cannot vanish. What destiny has joined cannot be broken by misunderstandings or pauses. Therefore, the feeling that refuses to fade is not a sign of weakness. It is your soul affirming that this love is meant for you. There is a profound, almost unbridgeable difference between what your eyes perceive and what your soul understands. Your eyes see only the surface, someone who appears distant, cold, or detached. But the universe reminds you not to be misled by appearances. Beneath that surface are emotions that are connected to you. This kind of love does not always express itself in logical ways. At times it withdraws, shields itself, or stays hidden. Out of fear of losing everything, this person thinks of you far more than they would ever admit. They feel your absence, your energy, and even your silence. They notice when your name comes up, when a memory surfaces, or when they look at a photo they cannot bring themselves to erase. They experience a sense of emptiness they cannot fully explain. And even if you believe they have moved on, they have not. If you think you no longer matter to them, you do. If you assume they have forgotten you, they haven't. Some feelings always return. Some memories linger with a quiet ache, and certain signs seem to follow them. There are moments when everything pauses in the middle of the day, and your thoughts turn to this person. The universe has observed all of these instances. Still, let us focus on something tangible. How can you know that this connection is genuinely active right now? If the other person feels your absence, how does that appear in your life and within your body? The first clear sign that this bond is active is emotional telepathy. This person is not distant because they lack love, but because they struggle to manage the strength of what they feel. Some individuals love so intensely that they become overwhelmed, pause, or temporarily withdraw simply to regain balance. While you may wonder why everything feels frozen, the universe indicates that nothing has truly stopped. Instead, their emotions are moving more powerfully than ever, only privately, in a space you cannot observe, but where destiny is already unfolding. This inner motion directly affects your energy and shows up as sensations you may wrongly label as stress or coincidence. When this person thinks of you deeply, their energy moves along the thread that connects your souls and reaches you. It may surface as sudden sadness or an unexplained heaviness that appears without an obvious cause in your daily routine. This feeling reflects their longing, the echo of regret entering your emotional space. You assume it is your own sadness, yet it actually belongs to them. Another common sign is the sudden arrival of a memory. At unexpected times, their face or a shared moment appears in your mind with such clarity that you stop for a second. This is not accidental. It is the universe confirming what your intuition already understands. The connection remains intact. In their heart, you are far more present than you realize. Their soul is sending this thought to you. This bond can also express itself physically through a gentle warmth or a mild burning sensation in your chest or face, especially when they think of you with affection or longing. At those moments, the energy of their love reaches you. When fear overtakes them and they turn inward, you may feel a sudden coldness or a hollow sensation in your stomach, as though your energy has briefly faded. Another distinct sign appears through music. You unexpectedly hear a song you once shared or discover a new tune that immediately reminds you of them. This, too, is not random. It is the universe using sound as a bridge, reminding you that the connection is still alive and strongly felt by them. When they hear your name and something shifts inside them, that vibration travels to you and resonates within you. There are nights when they think of you before falling asleep, and days when a memory of you tightens their chest. Even when they remain silent to appear strong, the universe recognizes the truth they cannot express. If your intuition has felt unusually strong lately, and you sense movement on a spiritual level, even on days when you promised yourself to let go, then pay attention to that awareness. It is not a sign of attachment or fixation, but of clarity. The universe reveals through subtle signals that this love still exists, that invisible threads continue to link your hearts, and that thoughts move without words. The love this person feels cannot simply be shut down. It is a love that conflicts with itself, attempting to understand what feels impossible and resist what feels unavoidable. Your presence has marked their soul so deeply that they cannot even fully acknowledge it. That is exactly why you should not surrender. We have now understood that what you feel is not an illusion, but a reality confirmed by the energy flowing between you. This leads to an unavoidable question: why is this bond so strong that neither time nor distance can dissolve it? The answer lies in the idea of a destiny plan. What is known on a spiritual level as a soul agreement must be understood clearly. This connection is not accidental. It was never just a random meeting or a temporary attraction that fades at the first challenge. This bond exists because of a greater design, a soul-level pact formed long before you encountered each other in the physical world. It represents growth, awareness, and a shared purpose. When two souls are connected by destiny, the energy does not permit a complete separation until the lesson or reason for that meeting is completed. That is why every effort from either side to move on or forget proves unsuccessful. This persistence itself is clear evidence that the connection is real. What is human can break, what is destined endures. The universe would never allow an essential part of your spiritual development to disappear simply because one person became fearful. The love you feel for this individual is not an emotion that can be erased by time or distance. It does not come from a conscious human choice, but from a higher directive. The reason their name remains within you despite all attempts to release it is because your soul respects this agreement. It functions like an energetic anchor, keeping you aligned with this truth. When the bond continues and the memory remains active, it is because the universe is repeatedly confirming the genuineness of this connection. This is how destiny guides you to remain grounded. This process is not random. Synchronicity is governed, not accidental. There is an important principle to understand about destiny's design. Within it, there is no chaos, only purposeful pauses. The universe does not place you in emotional pain without reason. If there is distance or silence now, it does not signal an ending. It represents an energetic phase of realignment. Destiny is working on the other person so they may return stronger, complete, and more resolute. It does not intend for you to receive someone who is only partially prepared, nor does it want you to remain trapped in anxiety or uncertainty. This is why the bond does not shatter. It expands and contracts, but its core remains intact, ensuring that you will reconnect at the appropriate time. What feels like an unbearable burden is, in reality, the exact period the other person requires to heal their layers and honor this soul contract with the maturity it demands. The silence that causes pain and confusion is not a sign of indifference. On an energetic level, it reflects overload. To understand why this person has pulled away, it is necessary to examine the nature of silence and what is unfolding within them. They are experiencing an emotional intensity they do not yet know how to manage. You, through your sensitivity and spiritual awareness, are capable of recognizing the depth of this bond. They, however, have not reached that stage of growth. The scale of this love, the power of the connection, and the inner certainty that you are the person they have been seeking have triggered an energetic shock within them. Their silence reflects a profound fear of emotional exposure, like an injured wild animal that pulls away to recover. They have turned inward to process their pain, to make sense of it, and to shield themselves from something they experience as overwhelming. This pause is their effort to bring logic to what feels illogical. They assume that creating distance through quietness and avoidance will lessen the intensity of their emotions and restore a sense of control. However, the universe shows you that this reaction is a misunderstanding, not evidence of missing love. Silence is simply the voice of their fear. This fear exists because the bond they feel with you is the most genuine and intense connection they have ever known. They are not afraid of you. They are afraid of the strength of their own emotions. They worry that fully giving in would make the pain of a possible loss impossible to bear. As a result, they choose to retreat before the connection becomes even deeper within them. At this moment, they are in conflict with themselves, their ego and old wounds telling them to stay guarded, to remain distant, and to distrust what feels beautiful. At the same time, their soul calls them toward you, seeking closeness and recognition. Silence becomes the space where this inner conflict unfolds. Yet the universe is not inactive. Within this quiet period, a powerful shift is developing that they cannot ignore. Circumstances arise that repeatedly remind them of what they have paused or stepped away from. The lack of your presence feels like a painful emptiness that nothing else can replace. Attempts to fill this gap with distractions, people, or activities only highlight how strong this connection truly was and still remains. So when you feel inclined to read their silence as indifference or absence of love, take a moment. This silence is evidence of their internal struggle. It reveals a heart being guided by the universe to heal past wounds before it can meet you as you deserve. To restore the bond and allow destiny to unfold, it is important to recognize what they are resisting. Their distance is not a sign of lovelessness, but a reflection of protective layers formed over many years, layers the universe is now gradually removing. This emotional armor has been the main obstacle to their progress. Still, the love you represent, strong, sincere, and unconditional, acts as a reflection of their own inner light. For those who have known hurt and betrayal, seeing themselves so clearly can be deeply unsettling. In those moments, the ego's protective barrier responds automatically, attempting to shield them from pain that no longer exists, yet is still feared by their emotional memory. The real origin of their fear is not rooted in the future, but in the past. In the concern that the depth of this connection could end the same way previous experiences did, through disappointment, loss, or abandonment. This is precisely why the universe is guiding them through a profound inner shift. It resembles a dark night of the soul, where they are compelled to face their fears, old wounds, and unresolved patterns. This period of silence and perceived isolation is essential for them to acknowledge their own shadows, heal what is hurt, and let go of the weight of the past. The universe removes their ability to escape, forcing them to confront themselves and honestly observe their true emotions. This darkness is not a punishment, but a cleansing, a process that helps them release outdated beliefs and defensive habits layer by layer. When they return, it should not be driven by need, but by inner completeness. You represent both healing and challenge for them, both remedy and exception. Their ego resists, yet their soul understands that the love flowing from you is too powerful to allow continued self-deception. Destiny makes it clear that no defense strategy and no attempt at control can withstand the strength of a connection formed with a higher purpose. This phase of separation, however, is not one-sided, because while the universe works through their fears, it is also healing yours. You are learning to love without losing your sense of self, to remain steady without relying on their presence, and to trust even when there is no visible evidence. Destiny is shaping you both, guiding them to become braver and guiding you to become calmer. When reunion occurs, it should emerge from balance, not from emptiness or longing. All of this leads to a crucial turning point. The universe has shown you that reunion is part of a divine design. However, the pace at which it unfolds depends on how firmly you stand in your faith. Doubt slows the current while certainty speeds it up. Any feeling of lack, fear, or impatience energetically signals that you are not yet prepared to receive what is meant for you. But when you rest in certainty, this energy becomes magnetic. It attracts without effort or force. For this reason, speak your faith, because words carry creative power. When you declare with full belief, "My soul trusts in the manifestation of this destiny," you send a clear message to the universe. This act of trust is not simply a ritual, it is a realignment of your inner frequency. You loosen the grip of doubt and open the doorway to manifestation. From this point forward, your role is not passive waiting, but conscious release. The law of magnetic detachment teaches that true attraction is born from calm. Those who pursue tend to push away. Those who trust naturally draw things closer. When you attempt to force a connection through fear, control, or anxiety, you unknowingly create resistance that blocks the flow of energy. However, when you release control, you stay open. Letting go does not mean abandoning love. It means having faith that it will return to you freely, with growth, and at the proper time. Trust means fully believing that the universe, which already placed love on your path, understands better than you when and how a reunion is meant to happen. To truly live by this principle, you must stop chasing the other person on an energetic level. This type of pursuit does not only occur through behavior, but also through thoughts, expectations, and emotional attachment. Each time you check their social media, wait restlessly for a message, or direct all your focus toward what they are or are not doing, you move your power into lack and doubt. The spiritual discipline of detachment invites you to reclaim your energy and return it to your own center, your life, your growth, and your inner calm. As you begin to raise your vibration without seeking external approval, you become magnetic. The universe recognizes you as calm, confident in your journey, and grounded in your own energy. This state sends a clear signal: I am complete, I am fulfilled. What is meant for me will reach me without force. This inner alignment is what the other soul senses during its darkest moments when it seeks clarity and light. Your stability creates a natural pull that gently draws them back. When you stop projecting pressure and fear, the true harmony of the soul connection can function freely without resistance. They do not return out of guilt or manipulation, but because your energy has become so steady and clear that their soul is naturally drawn back to yours. This is the core of magnetic release, letting go in order to attract. Yet to fully understand why the universe chose this process, we must recognize why the separation was required. If the bond is so strong and meaningful, why was this painful pause allowed? Because the separation is not a penalty, but a necessary step in the design of destiny. This pause is a period of preparation, training the connection to exist in its healthiest form. The strength of your bond was so intense that, without healing and awareness, it could not sustain itself and would have broken under emotional imbalance. The first hidden reason for this separation is the growth of the bond itself. When you first came together, both of you were acting from old habits, fear, emotional reliance, or the need for reassurance. The universe understood that this pattern would interfere with the purity of the connection, so it created distance to allow clarity to develop. This time apart became a form of spiritual incubation. You learned to value yourself without depending on their attention, while they were required to confront their fears without the comfort of your presence. The second reason for this pause is transformation. Destiny is not interested in repeating the past, but in forming a renewed connection, more aware, more grounded, and more secure. The discomfort of separation is the cost of evolution. Through distance, both of you come to recognize the real worth of what you share. The other person's soul understands that you are irreplaceable, that no bond will ever feel as complete because no other connection holds the same soul contract. This is why the universe repeatedly creates experiences that bring you back to their awareness. Moments when they sense the absence of your energy and recognize they have drifted from their authentic path. This pause is, in reality, an act of pure compassion from the universe. A higher intelligence declares, "I will safeguard this bond until both individuals are prepared. I will create distance so healing can occur, allowing you to return whole, aware, and lasting. The pain you experience now will pass, but the insight gained from it will remain. The love that comes back will be different from anything before, because it will be rooted in awareness rather than dependency. Now that magnetic detachment has activated the energy, and the other soul's dark night has reached its highest point, a new phase begins. This is when belief starts to take visible form. The universe has already assured you that this separation is not permanent. It is now time to recognize the signs that confirm the return is approaching. The first and most evident sign is the rise of genuine inner telepathy. These are no longer distant memories or undefined longing, but clear and vivid thoughts emerging in moments of stillness, sudden waves of warmth, calm, or affection moving through you. These sensations confirm that your souls have resumed communication. What you feel are the emotions of the other person, no longer resisting but moving in harmony. Their heart begins to yield to emotional truth, and the moment they do, their energy reaches you directly. Pay close attention to timing. If you notice yourself waking at the same hour each night, it may align with the moment their soul is most active, or when a memory affects them so deeply that it interrupts their rest. Another strong indicator is the repetition of specific numbers. The universe communicates through synchronicity, and numbers are among its clearest languages. If certain sequences appear repeatedly, 111 representing alignment, 22 reflecting balance and duality, 777 symbolizing spiritual reward, this is not random. These patterns are subtle signals from the universe. Divine timing is accelerating. The path forward is opening. These signs confirm that unseen efforts are already producing results. A third significant sign is the breakdown of fear and the overcoming of distance. The other person reaches a point where the pain of separation outweighs the fear of closeness. This is the moment destiny has arranged, the point where avoidance no longer feels logical. The emptiness created by your magnetic release becomes unbearable for them. Where distractions once worked or emotional walls once provided shelter, the universe now removes all exits. Restlessness, disrupted sleep, and the inability to find peace without you begin to guide their actions. When their heart realizes that life without you is more difficult than the risk of loving you again, the silence ends. Then comes the fourth and final stage, sudden clarity. When they return, it will not be marked by doubt or partial truths. The dark night of their soul has dissolved hesitation. You will recognize it in their voice, their expression, and their behavior, clarity, resolve, and mutual effort. This reunion will not be incomplete, but consciously chosen. The universe did not allow this separation to cause another setback, but to prepare both of you for a new beginning, grounded, clear, and healed. The reunion is inevitable because it no longer depends on your actions, but on the completion of their inner healing cycle. Watch for